You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Pro-impeachment movement just scored a big legal win against Trump, based on an article by Nick Hilden. When power calls protest obscenity, the real issue, a D.C. district court just did what the executive branch would not. It protected a protest group's right to display anti-Trump slogans and permanently blocked the Park Service from revoking its permit or seizing its property. That is the core fact. The rest is the familiar machinery of state power trying to dress up censorship as public order. Who held the power? The power sat with the administration, acting through the National Park Service. The Park Service tried to label the group's signs obscene and threaten the permit it needed to keep demonstrating in D.C. That is not confusion or overreaction. That is an agency using its authority to pressure political opponents off the public square. The censorship trick. The government reached for the narrow categories of obscenity and true threat because those labels sound technical and safety-minded. They are also convenient lies when the target is dissent. The court had already noted there was no evidence a reasonable observer would read the slogan as an incitement to imminent violence, and the permanent injunction makes the point bluntly. Criticism of Donald Trump is not obscenity just because the White House finds it irritating. Misdirection is method. The article's most revealing detail is the way the administration tried to convert a protest slogan into a threat after the fact, leaning on the same logic used in the James Comey case. That is the move. Take a political message, detach it from context, and recast it as danger. Once that works, the state gets to punish speech without admitting it is punishing speech. The pattern underneath. This is not an isolated First Amendment skirmish. It is a recurring institutional habit. Powerful officials try to suppress criticism, then wrap the suppression in legal vocabulary so it looks sober instead of punitive. The Park Service's role matters because bureaucratic distance does the work of deniability. The censorship is real. The accountability is dispersed. What the ruling exposed. The judge's ruling did more than protect one protest group. It exposed the weak point in the administration's strategy. When speech is plainly political, and the government's objections are dressed up hostility to dissent, the record gets thin fast. The larger pattern is simple. When authority cannot answer protest, it often tries to relabel it as misconduct. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article. With the automated voice of Labrits R. Thanks for listening.